Right, let's get into the biggest topic of the day, and it's just emerging and developing a little bit. As I said, Josh Daicos was due to join us tonight, but illness has gone through the Collingwood camp, and I'm not sure whether it was all on the back of Steele Sidebottom, but he may be the main culprit.
I can't blame the kids, to be honest. So, yeah, I just had the flu, knocked me around a little bit. I was probably in bed for a couple of days and then, had the sort of fevers and things, and then, did a bit of a trot on Saturday, and that's as much as I'd done until today at training. So, yeah, it's been a long week.
And we've heard it might have filtered through the club. There's a few sick boys as well this week, is that right?
Yeah, there's been a couple sort of come and go, but I think we're just trying to, get on the front foot a little bit and try not to have too many guys in at the same time.
So you're ground zero. You've copped the blame for it, have you?
Yeah, well, I think I'm the first to go down, yeah. So I'm copping the whack, but we'll be right. We'll find a way.
So there'll be no excuses. We know that from the Collingwood Footy Club, but just, it's one to keep an eye on. So obviously Josh is not here tonight. We had a replacement for him, and that was the skipper, Darcy Moore. So Darcy said, I'll come in and fill, and then he's had to be a late scratching. Nick Daicos didn't train today. I'm sure they'll be doing everything to get it under control, but just a little one to watch coming in.
It's a little concern, isn't it? It's not ideal, and as you know, Gaz, sometimes footy clubs can be worse than childcare with germs and all those things, so you've got to make sure that if there is someone that's unwell, keep them away. I think we learned a lot through COVID. So normally it wouldn't be an issue because players would still come to the club, I reckon, and they'd still, in the years gone past, they'd probably still train, and put on a bit of a brave face. But I think we've learnt through COVID, go home, stay away from the club. Missing 1 or 2 training sessions, especially for these players, is not going to be an issue. And hopefully by Thursday, Friday, they can get a blowout. That you need to get the blowout. That's the issue when you've sort of been bedridden for a couple of days, maybe going up, getting some sun up north. Gaz will do them the world of good, and I'm sure they'll be ready to go come Friday night.
So as we mentioned, Nick Daicos didn't train, but may have just have been precautionary as well. I think what it does, and we'll talk to Touk Miller about a lot of things, not just this, but it does put a little bit more pressure on the Gold Coast Suns, I reckon. So they go up there, Collingwood been in ripping form, dropped 2 games for the year. As I said, no excuses from them at all. Craig McRae will go up there with full expectation, but for us, on the periphery, you're looking at the Suns going, righto, it might be 0.5%, might be 1%. But just
opportunity, isn't it? It presents as another opportunity for Gold Coast to maybe get a scalp and knock off the Pies that no one's really been able to do. And it may be an excuse in hindsight. I don't think Collingwood will certainly make it an excuse despite whatever the result will be, but there may just be a little in for the Gold Coast, but I still expect the Pies to play and play like they always do.
I want to talk to you about the Pies. I'm just so taken with the way they're going about it this year, and they've got lots of things going for them. The fact that they bat so deep at the moment. Just have a look at this bit of vision. And we'll have a look at the time and the score, and that's McStay there. Game over, 3.5 minutes to go, and he's the one putting the smother on. Now, what he has done, of course, is not been able to experience what a lot of the other players have, and that's we get a premiership medallion. So these are the blokes that would be driving standards. Anyone that starts to just, and there's no sign that they're sitting on their heels at all, but McStay hasn't got a premiership. Schultz, Houston, Membry, Long, Perryman, Sullivan, Allen. That's a hungry, hungry bunch, Joey.
It's amazing considering they only won a flag 2 years ago, but there is 8 players that are desperate to get that medal, and that's why they probably are playing the way they are. And what it does, it drives the rest of the group. So if there is any complacency from some more senior players that have been there, done that, when you've got these guys playing the way they are, train the way they are, drive the standards, it just can't help but lift it. And that's, I think, a big part of why we're seeing their resurgence this year.
It's a great thing for Craig McRae to have in his back pocket. So I've given you some work. There's 6 who aren't playing at the moment. So let's have a look at these. Sidebottom obviously coming back from illness. DeGoey has to prove that he can get back. McCreery has demonstrated he's in their best. Bobby Hill's in their best. Lockie Schultz and Billy Frampton. Now there's 6.
They're all in their best 23.
I've said to you,
they're all in.
I've written them down, but you go to work. How do you get those 6 in? Show me how you get them into this side.
So from the 23 that played last weekend, unfortunately there are 6 that I've got missing out. That is Tom Mitchell. I don't think him and Ned Long can be in the same team with Pendlebury and Sidebottom. I just think the pace will be an issue. Hoskin Elliott's probably the most stiff. He's the one that is sitting there periphery, but I think Markov, Sullivan, as well as he's been going, Parker and young Steele that made his debut, it's pretty handy, the 6 that come in, for those 6 that just smashed Carlton on the weekend. That's how I see it. You reckon when you're a great team, you can have some unlucky players. Yeah. And maybe Tom Mitchell and Hoskin Elliott are the 2 that are unlucky. That's if all things go well and you've got your best 23 available. As we know, 1 or 2 injuries will still come up before then, and you've got pretty handy players waiting in the wings. That
is, again, on the assumption that the recovery for those people will go. DeGoey's the one for me. So it's a good thing for Jordan DeGoey. He's sitting back now and been talked about as this great wild card up their sleeve, which he is at his best, he's going to have to come back through the VFL. He's going to have to bide his time. He's going to have to prove that he's ready to go, because no one's rolling over. From that group you just showed us then, there's no one just who's in there, fortunately, at the moment. They're in there, they've earned their space, and they are not going to give it up without a fight.
So you like that messaging to stay to even though everyone knows to go what he can. You go, no, you're going to have to earn this, Geordie. You're going to have to fight your way into the spot, because possession's 9/10 of the law, and the blokes that have been playing have been doing a hell of a job.
And what do you reckon Tom Mitchell's doing at training? So you've got him out.
Yeah.
You'll get a phone call.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, Tom. Sorry.
But this is the thing about him. He's as competitive and combative as anyone. So, and then Ned Long, from everything I hear, is as equal. Yeah. Equally so. So they're at each other, just staring them down at training and game day. I think it's a fantastic thing that's unfolding from a Collingwood point of view, and Friday night shapes in a big, big way.
And a bit rough at Collingwood too, Macca. It's been sickness almost everywhere, hasn't it? Steele Sidebottom, I know, has been accused of being patient zero.
Was he patient zero?
At Collingwood, maybe the kids at daycare, like plenty of us at the moment. But we know Nick Daicos, he didn't train yesterday with his teammates. Spoke to Collingwood this afternoon.
Are we expecting him to play?
It's looking that way. They're not too concerned. It's really swept through last week. This might be essentially the tail end of it. So it was the players' day off today. Nick was back in at the club today doing a little bit of work there. I know his brother Josh was due to be on AFL 360 a little bit earlier, but has withdrawn. But speaking to the club, they are saying basically it's business as usual at the moment. Obviously, their main training session tomorrow. But, I mean, the fact that it's Friday night, you probably wouldn't want to be taking any risks, would you? But when you're 2.5 games clear, you've probably got that luxury.
You can. You don't. I'm certain Nick will want to play. There's maybe 3 Brownlow votes there that he might want. So.
Very, very true. I shouldn't forget about that. But just on the Suns,
it's a great game.
They're essentially, they're going from strength to strength, really staking their claim for September, and they might be staking their claim for some more primetime slots next year.
Well, I think this is a really good story. The primetime Suns. We never thought we'd ever say that, but this is fantastic. This is probably their biggest game in their history, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. It's their first non-COVID Friday night game against Collingwood. It's been sold out for a month. What they're doing now, they want more. They're really keen to try and push. They'll put in their fixture request to the AFL at the end of next month. That will be thrown in. They'll want 2, potentially even 3, Thursday or Friday night games on the Gold Coast. What they want to do is sort of market them around September holidays. I know so many people that are going up there this week. I think that's what is interesting also. The record attendance is just a little bit over 24,000 at the old Carrara, which is now People First Stadium. I've got to get my head around that.
Yes.
They've put in some extra standing room areas there, a couple of extra seats, standing room area there as well. There is a rough chance they may break the record for the Carrara history of the group. If it's 25,000, but whatever it is fantastic that the Suns have finally got this primetime action, and it's a great game.
It's funny. I think we've had this a few times. This is their biggest game.
But I reckon this
Can they beat the Lions? This is their biggest... And they've failed. This is the biggest game. They're a legitimate finals team, playing on the best team in the comp, on your home deck. I don't know who you're picking. Oh, you'll pick Collingwood. That's a silly question.
Well, I'm nervous.
I think it'll be Collingwood, but I think I'll wait to see what happens at training tomorrow and who's there.